Okay, so this is the first part. Well, you had the first part on the recorded video, and I think most of you did the task on that, but some of you didn't. If I haven't had an individual message from you in my WhatsApp, that means you haven't done the first task yet. Okay, all parts of this course are compulsory, right? It's not optional. This is part of acceptance onto the course. So we need to do everything, not just some things. Okay, we're going to start now with the second part. First part was the pre-course video. And the second part is the first training day. That is today. We're going to be together 9 till 1. As I promised in the group, we will have some breaks. Of course, we need a few breaks. We'll have a few longer breaks and a few shorter breaks because it's not healthy to stay looking at your screen for 4 hours. We know that. The objectives for today are to model the training for modules 1 and 2 of the Explore Teaching English. There are 4 modules altogether. We'll do the other modules on Thursday. Okay. We need to discuss and review what makes a good training session and expectations of this course. We're going to spend some time individually exploring and becoming more familiar with the resources. And we're going to discuss issues and challenges with the tasks and with the resources. Okay, so I want to know that you're all with me and you can see my slides and you can hear me. Can you put either one of the little thumbs up or something in the chat to say that you're with me, you're listening, and you've seen the objectives? If anything happens with my screen during this, you need to tell me. Okay, I'm gonna make Michelle my co-host as well, if that's okay, Michelle. So you can let people in as well.
That's fine.
Great. Okay, so I need to know that you're there. Okay, so great, you're saying in the chat. I'm going to ask for lots of interaction. Okay, so we need you to interact, and people who are not interacting, that might mean you're asleep. So please don't go silent, or we might think you're asleep. We're going to record the chat for this session as well, because it's all part of the training. If you have any questions, please put your questions in the chat. You don't need to put your video on. I can see, Mama Awa, you've got your video on. If it reduces the bandwidth, it's better to put it off. That's fine. But at some point, I'm going to ask you all to participate and to actually talk. Everybody ready? If you have any problems, please say. Don't just sit there in silence. And we're going to start now. Getting to know you. So this is me getting to know you. Most of you know each other. I want you to make up and share in the chat an acrostic of your name. So an acrostic is like I've put of my name here. I've put my name downwards. Can you see? Linda. And then I've put a word next to it beginning with each letter. And those words I chose to reflect my character. So don't just choose the first word that comes into your mind. Choose something that really reflects what you are like. So you're sharing your personality as well as your name. Think about it. I'll give you 2 or 3 minutes to think, and then please all share in the chat. While you're doing that, I'll explain my acrostics. I've put leonine for the first one. Do you know that adjective? It means like a lion, yeah? So I think I'm a bit like a lion. I roar sometimes. I I think I'm quite individualistic. I don't like following the crowd. I like being me, and I think I know myself quite well by my advanced age. N, nature loving. Okay, so I really do love nature and I go out in nature whenever I can. And I think that green of nature really, we really need that to balance work life. I think I'm quite demanding and I apologize for this, but I'm going to make you do things. Yeah, I think that's quite a good thing as a teacher because we need to demand the best from our students. If we just think, oh, well, never mind, we won't get the best out of them. So I apologize in advance for being demanding. And I think I'm very active as well. Okay, can you put yours in the chat now, please? Anybody? Try one. You can do a shortened version of your name if you want to, or part of your name. I know it's quite early for creativity. Thank you, Mamawa. You've got three adjectives for you for the hour part: ambitious, workaholic, and adorable. Lovely. From what I know about you so far, I think that's a great characterization. Who else is going to share theirs? Nobody else? Thank you, Famata. Lovely. Look at that. Faithful, ambitious, mature, adorable, tenacious, and amiable. Tenacious is brilliant, isn't it? Because it means to stick to the task that you're going to do. Great. Okay. And mature, excellent as well. This is much better than being immature and not taking things seriously. Any more? Debolo, great, nurturing, driven, elegant, youthful, empowering. What amazing adjectives. Isn't this quite an empowering task? Dalo, Okay, for Diallo. Yeah, no I in there. Okay, so dynamic, ambitious, lovely, open-minded. Okay, great. Maybe you have different spellings of your name. Anybody else? Okay, Fatty, you've just got two. Fantastic, ambitious. What about the T and the Y? Or can we call you Fa for Fa? Okay, it has to be the whole name. You can do this with your students, of course, in class. You can do this with your teachers. It's a great getting to know you task. And while we've been getting to know each other with these acrostics, we have some latecomers. Please, latecomers, you need to do this task and put it in the chat as we move on, but we can't carry on waiting for people. We're going to move on now. Okay? So if you came in late, welcome. You're going to have to be interactive. We're going to have some breaks. Keep your video and your audio off unless I ask you to, but you're going to need to show that you're there and interacting. So I hope, as I said before, you're in a nice, quiet place, nothing else to do for the next 4 hours and focus on this. Okay, so if you came in late, we need this from everybody. If you're late, it doesn't mean you get let off the task. You need to do this, but please, everyone who's joined late, make up and share an acrostic of your name like everybody else in the chat has done, like my example. And then you need to think about it. Why are you characterizing yourself like this? And how does that reflect on you as a teacher? So mine there, I think that makes me quite, yeah, as I said before, a demanding teacher. Yeah, someone who does it my own way, individualistic. I'd like to use nature in my classes. I'm very active and I move around a lot. And leonine, my lion-like quality, this means that sometimes I roar at people, but it's for their own good because I have to make people learn. Okay, let's move on. Everybody else, no excuse. Put your acrostic from your name in the chat as we're moving on. You'll have to do more than one thing at once. Okay, so we now have a quiz about the Teaching English resources. I'd like you to answer these questions in the chat, but each time you answer a question, I want you to put the number of the question as well. So we need to be organized and we need to share things with with focus so we know what we're talking about. If you want to answer number one, you put one and then your answer. If you want to answer number two, you put two and then your answer. You have a choice which one you answer, but everyone has to answer at least one of these questions now. Okay, look through the questions, choose one of your answers. Thank you, Abu. You've got ambitious, brave, organized, and a unifier. Lovely. Mortala, that's not your name. That's not an acrostic with adjectives, is it? You need an adjective for each letter of your name. Who's going to start answering these questions in the chat? Okay, more. You need one for each of the letters of your name. And they need to describe you. Okay. Okay, I'm going to leave you a minute now to put your answer to this quiz in the chat, please. Thanks very much, Mamawa. I'm going to stop sharing and then share again to try and get rid of that problem. Okay, I've stopped sharing. I will now share again. Okay. Is that better now without the black spots? Okay, more. Please read the instructions from the slides as well. I'm saying the instructions, but I've also got them written on the slides. Thank you, Fatty, for repeating, for extending your name with the adjectives. Great. Thank you, Famata, for starting, and Macaire. Lovely, Fadal. You've got a great big long list of adjectives there for your name. Any more answers? As you see, this is going to be a very active, interactive course, and I'm expecting you to do most of the work, which of course you can do this with your group of teachers that you're going to train. I think the best sort of teaching is when the students do all the work because that makes them active and interactive, and the teacher has planned it but sits back just checking. Okay, any more answers for these? Okay, great. Thank you, Daybolo. Two websites with the website addresses. Excellent. Mamawa, yes. Um, answers one. Yes, answers one. Lots of people have answered question one now. Let's move on to choose the other ones. Okay, thank you, Macaire, for the one with the lesson plans and podcasts. Great. What about question five, question six, question two? Oh, we got question two. Questions five and six. Thank you, Salyu. Yes, Teaching English Global. Africa is, yeah, this specific one for the African context. Great. And yes, we do need them because they're full of resources. Yes, full of really useful resources. It's not just silly things that we need to cover, but we have to engage with these because they are so useful. Who wants to answer question five and six? Group effort. Thank you. So number five, yes, it's the Africa one. Number five is not both. No, check again. Number five is the Africa one. Number four is the global one. And number six, nobody's done number six yet. And here is where we become very specific, because if you're vague and general, it doesn't help anybody. Nobody knows exactly what you're talking about. You've got to be specific and focused. Let's have an answer for number six. Did you mean number six, Macaire? You put question five, but you've put the name of a podcast. I think you meant question six there. Yeah? Great. There is one podcast called How to Assess Fairly. Excellent. Good. Okay, so we have answered all these between us, and we've got some more now. Good. So there's a lesson plan, challenges at school. Great. Okay. Good. Let's move on. Huh. Right. What do you think makes a good training session? So you're thinking about training sessions today and Thursday with me, and you're thinking about training sessions that you are going to do with your teachers. Which of these, A to H, do you think are the most important? So I'd like you to you can put them in order in the chat if you like, or you can just put the three most important and the three least important. What do you think? There's a picture of me there in Guinea-Bissau doing a training session. And I think that training session was interactive, challenging, built from what they know, clear objectives, relevant, practical, involved all the participants, and had varied tasks. Thank you, Mortala. The most important, you think, are A, E, and G. Okay. Salut, relevant, practical, interactive. Great. Fatty, you've put them all with number D first. D, B, E. Have a look at other people's answers in the chat. So you see, you vary, don't you, on what you think. We are all different and we respond in different ways. So again, if we include all of these features in a training session, we're going to appeal to all the different types of people with their different preferences. Yes, Papoella, I agree that building from what you know to what is new is really important, isn't it? If you go in with too high a level, nobody's going to get anything. Okay, so lots of different ideas here with A, the first one, Ndebolo, yeah, interactive. I think that's important. It keeps people awake. Yeah, Famata, you've put E as the most important, relevant. Yeah, and Macaire. Great. Okay, do you agree that these are all important? And can you think of any other features of a good training session that you think need to be included? If you've got any more ideas, please add them in the chat. I think variety is quite important for me because if you're doing the same thing in the same way, then of course everyone will or might go to sleep. And I think it needs to be very practical as well. Okay, Fadal, so you think D and C are the most important? Clear objectives, build on what you know. Yeah, okay. Inclusive. Great, thank you, Salio. Yes, so another one. I've put G involves all the participants, but inclusive is another one, isn't it? Great. Anything else you'd like to add? And, Papa, well, it's important to know the context of your participants. I agree. So if you get trainers who have never been to a country telling you what you need to do, it might not be relevant. You are going to be training teachers from your region, so you know the context. I have been to Senegal twice, and I have been working with Senegalese teachers for quite a long time and teachers in sub-Saharan Africa. So I think I know a bit. Oh, also, I've been to Guinea-Bissau 4 times, and I've been teaching there and training teachers. That's your neighbour, so I do have a bit of an idea of your context. Meeting the participants' needs. Yeah, now that depends on what they need and what your training session is, doesn't it? Yeah. If they know it already, waste of time. If they don't need it at all, then it won't be practical or relevant. And I think my word relevant covers that. And time for reflection, Daybolo. I think that's really important. And we will have time for reflection built in here. It's a lot to cover today and Thursday, so a lot of the reflection will need to be afterwards as well. Different people need different amounts of time to reflect, so we can't give everybody as much time as they need, but we will give you some. Thank you. Okay, so now there is a true false slide. There are three statements. Do you think they are true or false? So I want you to put the number and T or F in the chat. So you can choose any of the numbers. What do you think? You need to be brave to put your answers here. Oh, interesting. Salia thinks they're all false. False. So does Mortella. Interesting. Excuse me. Does anybody think any of them are true? Haha! If you think they're false, why do you think they're false? Everybody thinks they're false. Okay, you are correct, of course. Good. Why are these all false? I think if you've had anything to do with the resources at all, you will know that there are so many of them, of course. And this is why all these are false. So even I, number three, don't know everything about all the teaching English resources. Yes, far too many. There are enough to keep us going for the rest of our teaching career, even if you just started teaching. Okay, so yes, we're going to learn some and we're going to try and look at lots of them. All the teachers we train, too, are going to know some and hopefully will be inspired to learn a lot more. And I do know quite a lot, but I cannot possibly know everything. Good. Thank you for that. This is the overview of our tasks, okay? So we're going to be looking at 4 different modules and we're going to work through all of these different parts of the different websites. You're going to do the same for your training, and I've actually prepared a PowerPoint for you to use with all of these things in. But in order to improve your confidence and your knowledge and the delivery, and to fit it all in to the time, we're going to go through all of these together. Then you'll do it with your group. Okay. Are you familiar with all of these areas of the websites already? Today, we're looking at Module 1 and 2. Thursday, we're looking at Modules 3 and 4. This was a course that we've delivered several times via WhatsApp. So you can do all these things via WhatsApp or Telegram, of course. We're going to do it now via Zoom, and you're going to deliver it face to face and then continue to raise awareness and use and localize these resources afterwards. Okay, so some of you are familiar with these. I'm going to share the slides for this later as well. So you can take screenshots of some of the important slides if you want, or you can go back to the slides later. Okay. What do you think are the best ways to present these resources to teachers, and why? Now, I imagine lots of your teachers have never seen these resources. You're going to get a group of 50 teachers each from your regions. Some of them might have seen them. Some of them won't have any idea at all. So, which numbers in my list do you think are best? Number 1, a lecture. Number 2, explain. Number 3, give teachers time to explore. Number 4, show them how to access them. 5, give them ideas and elicit more ideas about how they can use them. And 6, do an initial face-to-face training day, then check, follow up, feed in more information and links in a WhatsApp community of practice afterwards. Great. Okay, so I agree with you. Yeah, you're going further down the list in your comments. Yes. So 6 is what you're actually going to do. Excellent. And that's the best way, isn't it? This has been thought through very carefully. 5 and 6, yes. So 5 as well. So teachers need some ideas and then they need to actually process it to get more ideas. And they need to actually use the resources, not just a lecture. No, lecture is not good, not useful, because it's one way. Explaining is no good. Like teachers, if we explain, we have no idea what's going on in the students' brains. So better than explaining is showing and then using. So I think 3, 4, 5, and 6, but 3 will often have to be in the teacher's own time because you won't have time for them to explore all of it in the time of your course. If you just simply do number 3, they won't know what to look for. They won't know how to use them best. So you need to guide and show. And 6 is actually what we're going to do. Okay, let's start with it. As I said before, there are 4 modules. Each module has 4 tasks. The original course, the Explore Teaching English course, was originally over 4 weeks, with 1 module per week and 1 task per day. We're going to go through it all before our coffee break. Okay, so you have had experience looking through all of these, but we're just going to go through it in a way that we can familiarize teachers with these 4 parts: lesson plans, articles, publications, and podcasts. This is on the global Teaching English website. Okay, I hope you know a lot of this already, but I'm going to go through the materials and resources to help you train the others. Again, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Right, so we've had half an hour already. So for every half an hour, we need a couple of minutes away from the screen. So I'd like you all now, before we start with module 1, to look away from the screen, look out of the window, stand up, turn around, stretch. Okay? Are you all ready? We need to do that every so often in face-to-face sessions and especially online, because it can be really bad for your eyesight, really bad for your focus to focus on the screen all the time. Okay, we are now going to go through module 1. And we're going to start with looking at the lesson plans. I'm going to play you a short video, and I'm going to share with you a list of all these short videos later, and you can use them yourself either in your WhatsApp group afterwards or in your training session. Okay, so if you can't hear this, please say in the chat, but I'm going to play this to you as an overview introduction to the lesson plans. Let's see if this works.
Hello. In this video, you are going to learn how to find free lesson plans to use in your classroom. First, go to the Teaching English website. At the top of the web page, on the right, you should see a menu icon. Tap on the icon, and you will see a menu list. Tap on it, Teaching Resources. Now select the age group of your students and tap on Lesson Plans. Select the level of your students. Scroll down the page and read the titles and descriptions of the plans. When you find one that is interesting, tap on the title. Now you can read more about the plan and the aims. Find the Downloads area and tap to open the lesson plan. Read the plan and look at the resources. Save the downloads or print them to use in class. Well done! Now you can access a variety of lesson plans and teaching resources for your classes. I hope you enjoy using them with your students.
Okay. So, did you hear that first? I need a bit of feedback in the chat. So, put yes if you did, if that was clear. Good. Okay, good. So the audio is working. I'm very happy about that. Excellent. Now, what you can do with these videos, of course, is you can pause them if you're listening to it yourself or if you're playing them in a session. You can also repeat them. So we're not going to have time today to repeat several times, but we could repeat this first one if you want it repeated. Can you put in the chat if you'd like it repeated? So it's only 1 minute and 49 seconds, which is quite short. If you'd like it repeated, please put repeat. And what you can do while you were doing this, if you're watching on your laptop, you can do this on your phone. Okay, so it's organized for people to use their phones to do it. Both the websites have a slightly different version and look slightly different when they're on the mobile phone version and when they're on the laptop PC version. So it's taking the phone version and it's going through. Okay, so if you're on your laptop and you'd like to get your phones, please get that now. And we're just going to repeat, one person wants it repeated, so we'll repeat the first one. We won't repeat them all. And I'll give you the list later and you can go through them later. Okay, so as we're doing it this time, look at your phones, try and get it. Get the website up first now, so you're ready, and then think of any questions you might have afterwards. Ready? I'll play it again now.
Hello. In this video, you are going to learn how to find free lesson plans to use in your classroom. First, go to the Teaching English website. At the top of the web page, on the right, you should see a menu icon. Tap on the icon, and you will see a menu list. Tap on Teaching Resources. Now select the age group of your students and tap on Lesson Plans. Select the level of your students. Scroll down the page and read the titles and descriptions of the plans. When you find one that is interesting, tap on the title. Now you can read more about the plan and the aims. Find the Downloads area and tap to open the lesson plan. Read the plan and look at the resources. Save the downloads or print them to use in class. Well done! Now you can access a variety of lesson plans and teaching resources for your classes. I hope you enjoy using them with your students.
Okay, So, yeah, I think you can see the more times we watch these, the more proficient we get at the order of finding all the places, all the things. And I wonder if you did it with me, if you found anything useful, anything interesting. I came across the first one that jumped out at me was the Bechdel test, exploring women's representation in films. It's a really interesting thing about exploring gender in films and television series. And it's a few little tests to see where women are included in films, not just as a love interest, and that they're talking to each other for at least 1 minute about something other than men. This is a lovely way to combat gender issues and to raise awareness of women's presence in public and cultural life in films. Did you find any other interesting lesson plans? Can you put them in the chat? And I think these videos are very clear. Do you agree? These videos are clear and it takes you step by step. Some people might take more time, so they need to watch again and again. But let's move on now to some of the questions and issues. Okay, so Famata, you found a nice food I like and don't like for beginners. Great. Okay, and that suits your learners. My lesson I found would suit me and my learners. So we have to find things that suit our learners. Great idea. Okay, so first thing is about the levels of students. And we need to include this as well in your training for your teachers because some of them might not know about the CEFR levels, which is how the British Council lessons are organised, right? Which level are your students? Are they A1? This is the breakthrough stage, the very beginning. A2, way stage. B1, threshold. B2, vantage. C1, effective operational proficiency. C2, mastery. I don't think in Senegal you have students of C1 and C2 in schools, do you? Even maybe B2. They're probably, yeah, like Macaire said, A1, A2, and B1. So it's the lower levels of these lesson plans that you're looking at. And your teachers need to know which levels to look for. We've got some other questions here. What happens, number 3, what happens if the lesson plan is for a different length of time than our lessons? What can you do? Number 4, do you need to follow the lesson plans exactly? What can you change or adapt? Number 5, how can we download and print out the plan and the handouts? And how can we use the video and audio resources? If you'd like to answer any of those questions, please put the answers in the chat. Okay. The answer, adapt, is great, but what can you change or adapt? And how can you change it or adapt it? So again, let's put the number of the question you're answering in the chat for clarity. The idea is suggesting adapt. Okay, yeah, fine. But how and what is much more specific and much more helpful. So, for example, how can you adjust the level of difficulty? I have a suggestion. Pre-teach some of the vocabulary. Translate some of the vocabulary. Yeah? How can you adapt and fit it to your context or contextualize? Maybe change the names to Senegalese names. So again, we've got to be very precise and focused. If you're vague, it's not going to help as much as if you're precise and focused. Please encourage learners to adapt and change and use parts of them. Pictures, great. Changing names, places, great. It might help our learners to identify more with it. What about numbers 5 and 6? How are you planning to download them and print them out? How are you planning to use the audio or video resources? Do you have tape recorders in class? Many teachers I know don't. Can we have some answers to numbers 5 and 6, please? You're right. Yeah, cut the numbers of activities, use them for homework as follow-up. Great. Yeah, and please encourage the learners to just use parts, maybe. Yes, Papa Weller. For downloading and printing, you probably need your computer, unless you have the app that allows you to print from a phone, which some people have. You need to use somebody's laptop, print it out if you need it, or maybe you don't even need to do that, and you can just use your phone, copy out a few things that you need, copy out a few things onto the board, or dictate to students. Dictation is great. Great ideas here. Yes, and using your phone for audio, especially with a loudspeaker or just a box. Any cardboard box around your phone will magnify the sound, and people can listen to that in quite a big classroom, as long as they're quiet. If you do have a video projector, excellent. I know most teachers don't. If you can take your laptop in class, if you have electricity, I know lots of classes don't, you might be able to use it, but don't worry if not. You can just do the audio on your phone. You don't need the video. You can save in your phone, copy out, dictate. Be creative and flexible with this. Great ideas. Thank you. Great. That was 1-1, the lesson plans. The second part is the articles. Now, we're not going to watch all the videos. There are video explanations available for all of them, but for variety, and I suggest you do this in your training session as well, it's sometimes good to look at the visual screenshots as well as, or instead of, the little recordings. So these are how to find the articles. So have a look and try and get it on your phone if you're using your laptop. We're going from left to right. The first thing you look at is professional development. Okay, I'm following this myself on my phone. You've got the 12 main areas of teacher competency below, and you click on the one you're most interested in. For example, understanding my learners. And then you find content there. You look down and you find the articles, okay, underneath. So what does understanding my learners mean? You've got some articles underneath there, or any other list. You've got, yeah, teaching English in inclusive classrooms. It's got courses and things as well. It's got webinars as well. But if you click on articles, okay. Okay, so you can click on any of those professional development areas. Another way of doing this is to look at the search at the top and just put articles in there. And you will find lots of articles about teaching resources and professional development and about learners. Okay? Have you read any articles? Okay, so if you look at these, you can find them yourself, and you need to find an article that interests you in any of the professional development sections. I've suggested here that you post a link to the article in the chat. Can you do that? You might not be able to post from your phone into the Zoom chat. So I suggest we use the WhatsApp group, our group WhatsApp, to post the links to any of the good articles that you're finding. And then we can all read each other's. Okay, have a look now. I'll give you a couple of minutes. to find an article that you think is interesting. I'm going to look as well, and then see if you can post a link in the chat. Okay, can anyone find anything? If you found an article in the past, maybe you'd like to post that as well. Interesting articles. One of the great things about us sharing in a group is that we can find really, really good articles and share them with each other. Okay, I'm sharing an article now about empowering learners. Okay, let's share the links rather than the name of the article, because then people can look them up afterwards. Yeah? Okay, so I've just sent a link. I don't know if you've got a laptop and a phone, so you can see both at the same time. That's ideal. If you see the link of the article that I've just sent on the WhatsApp group. Okay, rather than just looking at the articles and just thinking about them, we've got to think about how they can use them to help our teaching. And we've got to use the ideas in them in our classes. Okay, I'll leave this for our break in a minute because I want to go through the other two parts before we have a break. Whenever you like, post a link there and say something about it. And let's go on to the books and publications. Okay, so this is 1.3. 1.1 was lesson plans. 1.2 was articles. 1.3 was publications. Let's have a look. Great. Fatty, you've posted an article there as well. Thank you. Okay, let's look at these publications. How can you read all these books and many more for free? Just look at the publication section on this website. Now, these are excellent books, and we have teachers all over the world reading these books for free. We don't need those old-fashioned, heavy, expensive paper versions of books, because now in the 21st century, we can read books on our phone, on our laptop, and we're using a lot less paper as well. And they're free. Excellent. Which of these four would you choose to read first? Can you put in the chat? These are actually four of my favourite ones from the Teaching English website. Would you choose to read any of these? Can you put your choice in the chat? If you like, to make it easier, you can put 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, thank you, Mamawa. The third one. Yes. Now, this is a really useful one, isn't it? Creating and running successful online groups for teacher development, because that is what you're going to be doing. Yes, really relevant. And it's a whole book about them. Great. Famata, yes, this climate action one. And this is specifically for low resource classrooms, like in Senegal. You don't need anything for that. Great. Abu, you like the AI activities? Yeah, that's an An excellent book. It's about using ChatGPT in class, on your phone, making resources. Really good book. Nobody interested in two? That's one of my favourite. It's for younger learners and it's exploring social issues. And of course, we know in Senegal there are so many important social issues. Let's read about them, do lessons on them in class. Great. So I think I got you interested. And we need to look at the website to see how to find the publications. Now, can you do that now on your phone or your laptop? Now, let's find the publications section. It's under, what's it under? Under under teaching resources. If you skim down, you'll find publications. If you look at the publications part, then you'll find resource books, case studies, all of those things. It's the resource books, which is the most useful part. There are several pages of them. And if you look at the top, there are some that maybe not very relevant. Teaching in Indonesia. Theme workbooks for the courses. Then we get down to the ones that you want to read, like the AI activities, the creating and running online groups. Okay, and then you need to click on the one you want to read, and then you get the whole thing. You've got the introduction there, and you scroll down, and at the bottom, you find the download. Click on that link and download. Now, there are some potential issues. Have a look on my screen on the right here. Many people don't read very fast, and you need to encourage the other teachers to be able to skim quickly. I know in lots of countries, I think it's probably the teaching style, people are taught to read aloud, and that slows down your reading speed and makes you think you have to read every word. This is not good for life, is it? It's not very useful because often we have to skim very quickly through things to find the interesting ones. So you might find as trainers that you're helping your 50 teachers to skim. And this will help them in turn with life, and it will also help them to teach their learners to read more quickly and skim and not always read every word. The other potential issue here is slow internet, which often makes the downloading difficult. So if you click on that download there, yeah, I'm sorry, my internet is quick because I'm in the UK and mine comes up straight away. Okay. I know yours might take a while and you might need to move to another area with stronger Wi-Fi in order to download it. Okay? If you download them, you can save them as PDFs and share with your group. Okay? That's the publications. Right, and we have one more before our break in a minute. I'm going to give you time in a minute to look through all of these. The fourth one, 1.4, is the podcasts. So, 3 questions here. What is a podcast? How long do you think they last? And are they relevant? I've put the 3 series of podcasts on the screen here. Which one would you choose to listen to first? Which series? So I'd like you to choose one of those questions and answer it in the chat, please. Okay, who's going to answer first? You all have to answer one. You can choose to answer question one, question two, question three, or question four. Please choose one now. Okay, if you put the number of a question, that'll help. Actually, Papawella, a podcast is not an audio script. You get the audio script with it, but a podcast is more than just the audio script. The audio script is where it's written down. The podcast is oral, it's audio. Anybody else answering the questions? Yes, Anta, it's a recording. Yes, it's an audio piece of audio. Yeah. It is usually on a specific topic, but these podcasts are on several different parts on about a topic. Yeah. So several different interviews, presentations. Yes. Okay. So who would like to answer questions two, three, and four? Please go ahead and answer the other ones as well. We don't have time to just focus on one question. That, I think, is something from ChatGPT. Mortala, is it? A digital audio file you can stream or download at your own convenience. Fine, great. Questions two, three, and four. Please answer them now. 2 minutes? No. 30, 40 minutes? No. All of these Teaching English podcasts, not 3 to 8 minutes, no, they're all 1 hour long. Okay, they're 60 minutes. There is so much in each of them. There are lots of different variety of chats, interviews, ideas, and they're an hour each. Yeah, no, these podcasts, we're talking about the Teaching English podcasts, not any kind of podcasts. These Teaching English podcasts are 60 minutes long. You need to know that. They are relevant. How do you think they are relevant? It's because they're all about teaching English. They're all about different ideas in teaching and for educators. Number four, which series would you choose? You got the three different series there. There's the general Teaching English podcasts, the Climate Connection podcasts, and the Education in Focus podcasts. Which one would you choose? The general one. Okay. The first one, great. The Climate Connection one, yeah, okay. You've already listened to one and two, or all of them. There's 10 in each series. That's 10 hours of listening. Okay. The one at the bottom, as you can see, it's been produced by British Council South Asia, and it's relevant to educators in the South Asia region and globally. So it might not be quite so focused, but it's got lots of issues there. Okay, great. How do we find them? So let's find them. Try and find them on your phone now. So if you click on the top of the Teaching English website and go to Community, and if you scroll down under Community, you get to Podcasts. Okay, as you can see on the small screen there. So you get the podcasts there. You get each of the series coming up there. And for example, here is the Climate Connection series. I'm in one of those, actually. I think I was interviewed in number 7, 6 or 7, I think. And then you click on the one that you want. You get an introduction about it. You get the show notes and you get the downloads at the bottom. You do get the audio script as well, and you can listen to it with that or without it. Look at my screen here now. Always click on those 3 small lines if you want to go back to the menu to find your way around. And you have a choice of how to listen to the podcasts. You can listen or read the transcript or both. Good for practicing English. If you try clicking on the headphones to listen, there are different ways that you can listen. And if you look at the how to listen part here, you can listen on various apps, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Okay, and I want you to try out these things now in part of your break. Okay, so if you look at the bottom here, you can look at the show notes, which is notes about the hour podcast. And you can look at the transcript as well. And they give extra podcasts like the full interview there of this one, if people want extra information later. Okay. We have now come to a place where you are tired of looking at the screen. We're going to give you a 30-minute break. In this 30 minutes, please come back to or stay in the Zoom room. Don't go away. You've got 30 minutes now. You've got to practice finding and accessing them. Remember what they are and where they are. Access the resources more quickly. Practice showing others what they are and how to find them. And select some to read, use, listen to, and download. So, in your 30 minutes, I want you to definitely spend 5 minutes walking around, doing some exercise, looking away from the screen. Go outside, do something. 5 minutes to get a drink or a snack if you need it. You might even need the toilet. I don't know, up to you. And then 20 minutes of your break to find, look at, read, listen to, make notes, and report back here in the Zoom in 30 minutes with your new recommendations. If you want to post your links or your ideas to the WhatsApp group, you're welcome to, or in the chat here. Okay, it is now 9 minutes past 10. Okay, so we're meeting again at 39 minutes past 10. Everyone okay with that? Okay, you can leave the Zoom room and come back if you want to, but you've got to come back to the same room. See you in 30 minutes. And here are your instructions left on the screen. Okay, see you in a bit. Bye.